Peace, peace, peace. Welcome to the Overthinker. We're getting it in tonight. Talking about the real you. Gonna be going in on who you are. What do you think you are here for? Me, myself, and I. And then we're gonna end it with just some ending remarks. One of the things that we're going on in tonight is piggybacking off of the first episode, which was the law of pure potential. Talking about and setting up for this particular episode about who we are um at its essence, at its core, because we hear a lot about any and everything spirituality, religion, whether it's humanism or you're a naturalite or Israelite, whatever it is. We was talking about the basis of all the foundation, the basis of all spiritualities and religion, and we went into that. So we're gonna be going back in on that book that we was in last night, which was the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, and then we're gonna add another book to it as well, which is the energy codes. So I got those books behind me. So when I get ready to tap for them books, I'm gonna grab them. So just first off, we're just gonna start it off moment of silence and just want to and just as you taking this moment of silence, I should say, just reflect on everything that you're thankful for. And so we're just gonna get started with that. All right. So I hope everybody out there doing good, man. I hope y'all thankful for just everything, what they call a new year, or you celebrating the winter solstice, however you want to say it. I hope y'all starting this path, this journey for this new 2024 over here in the Americas, and started on off how you want to. I know we only 2 days in and going on that third. At the end of the day, let's get the things that we want to see done. Let's take the action steps that we want to see so we can get what we want accomplished. But no matter the fact or no matter what others say, right? Because people are always going to talk. So the topic of the day is the real you. So we're going to dive in. So what's the real you? You know, that's a big question that we talk about, that we go back and we think about, or we stay aligned in our spiritualities because we don't want to lose sight of that, right? So one of the things that we were going in last night about is the law of pure potential and how we are all pure potential and infinite creativity, meaning that everything that we see or that everything that transpires in the world is the essence of creativity. Whether you think about it in a negative light or whether you think about it in a positive light, at the true bottom of it, it's a creative thing. It's a creative being. It was created to continue to create or procreate. So we have to realize that at our core and at our essence, we are creators. We are the ones that tell the story. We are the ones that go through go through the story. We are the ones that say, okay, if I'm gonna build my character, I'm gonna build my character according to how I want to build my character so it can play along in this story, in this game, or what we call life. So going in and understanding the real you, you have to really get into your spirituality, something that we talked about last night, or your religion, in your faith, in your belief system. Get into it and really start to use it as a foundation, as a mechanism in order to implement yourself into society in order to achieve what you want. Right. And so one of the things that I know a lot of people are going to come on here with is not on here in particularly, but starting the new year with, is health. You know, health and fitness. Why is health and fitness one of the biggest things during the new year? Because Some men feel like they six pack ain't hitting, or they too skinny, or they too big. Some women feeling like they body ain't Coke bottle, Pepsi bottle ready. So we start the new year with these aspirations, not understanding every day, every time we get a chance to see the light, that it's a new year, it's a new day, in order to achieve that thing, whatever it may be. Right now, fitness, to take action behind that. Whether that action is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, or 30 minutes to an hour, it does not matter. The only thing that matters is the action steps that's being taken in order to achieve the goal. That's it. One of the things that I say a lot is everything is 90% mental and 10% action, but the 10% outweighs the 90, because you can be in your head all day, but if you don't take the action in order to get what you want done, or to see what you want manifest, then what are we doing it for? Right? So, and that goes into whatever it may be. One thing that I have learned in his journey spiritually, in his journey on as a sovereign being on this planet, and then on the business and entrepreneur side, is that everybody don't want the same thing. So there's plenty of room for you to get what you want out of life. Life is abundant, no matter the picture that people want to portray or paint on what's going on in the world or what's not going on in the world. So we're going to dive into these books real quick. And one of the books we're going to be coming out of is The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. The other book is The Energy Codes. Okay, now these are books that I've gone through before in past lives, but the thing is, I read the same books over and over. I rarely go through where I'm just picking up new books. It's usually I'm reading the same books over, because you can read something once, watch something once, and then when you go back and read it or watch it again, you find something that you didn't see before. So one of the things about me, I'm very consistent in how I study in my scholarship work and different things of that nature, because ain't nobody paying me to go do this. Ain't nobody forcing me to go do this. I'm not stacking up student loan debt in order to go do this research and to go get this information. So I do my due diligence properly, and I do my due diligence slowly, depending on who's referring to books and who's and what books I come across. So one of the things that we're going to be touching in the energy codes to go along with the real you, and one thing that we have to really understand and comprehend, is in the title of this particular segment, would be the painful perspective of the protective personality. Okay. And this is going to feed off of the law of pure potential in the 7 spiritual laws of success, because we're going to go in on how to apply the law. See, we can know these laws. See, this is the thing, right? Before we even get too far into it, we can apply the laws. We can know the laws, we can know the laws, but if we don't know how to apply the laws, then what we know, then what's the point of knowing it besides to bring it up in conversation? So one of the things that I want to go in detail with is when we asking ourselves these type of questions, are we going on are we continue our journey in our spiritual journeys, in our faith-based journey, is that we have to learn how to apply the laws and the principles that are being given from people like me and you. Okay? That's very key, and it's very key to what we want to implement into society. Because one of the quotes that I love is hard times create strong men. So a lot of y'all heard it. Hard times create strong men. Strong men create easy times. Easy times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. So we must build warriors. So we have to continually hone and improve ourselves by applying the principles and the laws that we want to replicate into society. That's how we overcome. That's how we evolve. That's how we transform. Okay, because everything in the universe, everything in our realm sticks to laws and principles, everything. And so, and not only stick to it, not stick to it, but I want to say apply. They apply action to these laws and these principles. So let's dive in real quick. The first book we're going to come out of is The Energy Codes. All right. And in the painful perspective of the protective personality, okay, until we know ourselves to be energy or spirit, we believe that we are the body and or the mind. This single misperception about our identity causes us untold suffering as, excuse me, and is at the heart of every problem we have in life. Why? Because so much of our true nature is excluded with this view. Something feels missing, so we perceive that something is missing or wrong or broken with us. When we then spend all of our time and effort trying to compensate for feeling inadequate. All right. So one of the things that I took from this particular passage and overthinking about it, right? That's one of the main things I really want to come with and see, and for y'all to see my perspective from as an overthinker, right? Is that we get caught up into materialistic things. Like even our body and our mind is materialistic because it does not go with us. See, we preach body, mind, and soul, pineal gland, this, that, and the third, but we don't take the pineal gland with us. It's still a materialistic gland. So we are more than just what science says, what some of the leaders in the conscious community say, our psychologists, our philosophers, and different things of these different natures, or these different titles, I should say. We are more than that, right? We are something that's filling in a vessel, not the other way around. It's not a vessel trying to create something out. No, we are filling in something that is created. Vessel trying to create something out. No, we are filling in something that is created. So we have to really understand this passage again. I'm gonna read the title again. The painful perspective of the protective personality. Right? We live in a world where we feel like we are in survival, right? So speaking of survival, let's go into one of the statements that I was going into looking for my bookmark, excuse me. One of the statements from earlier, and I was doing some studying, and one of those statements is the purpose of life on earth. What is the purpose of life on earth? And it's survival, right? So going back to the painful perspective of the protective personality, the reason why we feel like we have to be in a protective state is because we feel like we're always in a survival state, right? We always feel like it's I gotta make sure I'm this, I gotta make sure the kids this or that and the third, make sure everybody survives through in order to get through. You get what I'm saying? Or survive the day, survive the year, survive the next 10 years, survive the next 50 years, regardless of how much money you got. The thing is, I'm trying to survive and live long so I can see my children grow, my children's children. I can see my peoples, my mom, dad, whoever it is may be in our lives that we trying to survive for, right? Because one of the things that we do is what it says in the title based off of survival, and that's building a protective personality. But we have it backwards. The first thing is to thrive because we are living in an abundant realm. So the first thing is thrive based on resources that I have, or based on who I am. Let me say it like that. Who I am. or the real me, or the real I, or the real you, right? Which is what? Energy or spirit. What we call energy or spirit. Spirit is what? Breath, right? When I was describing spirituality, spirituality is the way you talk, the way you breathe, the way you talk while you walk in this walk. That's all it is, right? And so understanding that you are energy and spirit, you can start to detach yourself from a survival mechanism and start to enter into a thriving society, a thriving mindset, right? So we don't have to label ourselves or compete with others, or or do this thing what we call figuring out whether we believe it's in our purpose or it's not in our purpose. The thing is understanding who you are, energy and spirit, pure potential, infinite creativity. Once you understand these things, then we can what? Start to apply what we finna read out of this book. Okay? But I want to hit on some more things on what she said in this. All right. All right, real quick. Okay, one of the things that she said in the book, it says the single misperception about our identity causes us untold suffering. All right. And it was why? Because so much of our true nature is excluded with this view. When we only look at the view from the point of my body, me, my mind, the pineal gland, third eye, all of these different things, right? We still only see a percentage of it. It's still not the full package because we're still attaching it to a material thing. Right? Because we got to ask ourselves, what if we ask ourselves, well, what was there first? Was it material or spirit, or was it spirit material? At the end of the day, one had to be here for the other to enter. But what one you can't take with you, the other stays. So one is real, the other is what? Just the avatar. It's just the creativity of what was here when you got here. Okay? So when we talking from that what she said in this book, the energy codes, and when I say when I say she, we talking about Dr. Sue Morter, the book, The Energy Codes. Okay. So breaking that down is basically saying, right, a lot of your suffering, a lot of our suffering is because we are attached to what we believe is us. When we go look in the mirror, they say, oh, go look in the mirror. You believe what you looking at is you, but what you looking at, you can't take with you. I'm gonna say that one more time. When we go in the one more time, when we go look in the mirror, what we see in the mirror, we cannot take with us. And so when I don't know what made me think of that, right? I was meditating, I was doing something, and I was like, man, we talk about materialistic things and we talk about all this stuff we can't take with us. We can't even take our own body mind, right? We can't even take our own body mind. And as far as we know, if spirit is breath, we don't even take that. So what are we? So the real you, pure potential, energy, spirit, infinite creativity. Okay, who the real you, energy, spirit, right? Energy, spirit. We just put those two together, but we understand what spirit is in its own essence. Energy, spirit, infinite creativity, and pure potential. Okay, so and the reason why I say it like this is because we have to start to break the chains of we can't live the life that we want to live because we watching somebody else's life. You get me? Like, or we feel like it take this to live the life that we want. when certain things are put in our face in order to make it seem or to push a narrative. Let me say it like this: to push a narrative of a rat race or of a, this class system, which it is, because they pushing the narrative for it. But once you start to push your own narrative in society and push back against what we call the matrix, the system, and all of these governmental infrastructures with the same mirror, or this what some people call mirror spells and different things of that nature, but with the same energy, I'm gonna say, you start to be able to push back. Forces start to clash and forces start to push against each other. And so if we want to see change, right, this is one of the real reasons why I'm coming on like this and I'm talking like this and I'm setting things up like this, is because we want to, as the people, right, no matter what color you are, you want to start to implement things into society the way you want society to be. Why? Because if you don't, somebody else will, and they might not see society as you do. And regardless of how people are saying, oh, it's a crisis that's coming, the blackout that we still been waiting on, that was supposed to come over the winter. I know the winter ain't over with, but we waiting on that. It's this, that, and the third. And I'm not saying that it is coming, it ain't coming, this, that, and the third. But what I'm saying is, no matter what people say, life still goes on. No matter who is born, no matter who passes, life goes on. It's still things being done. It's still uh, things being orchestrated. It's people still setting goals. It's still it's still people doing whatever they was before whatever happened, or if anything ever happened, people gonna still continue to do what it is that people do. So we have to remember who and what we are, so we can continue to move in the right direction, no matter what people say. No matter what people say, and we don't get caught up and we don't put our energy towards something that doesn't resonate with us, and that's not going to get us to our end goal at the end of the day, and that's going to keep us distracted. Because what I've been noticing is a lot of things have been planted in the society, in our communities, in our world, in order to distract us, in order to further confuse us, right? The circus is a circus. It's a whole bunch of random shows that's going on that you enjoy, and it distracts you from whatever it is that's going on in your life. So we have to remember that with what's going on in the world that we live in. And the reason why I say that is because everybody have different realities. Everybody's on their own frequency, and we have to remember that. Right? Even ourselves, when we understand who we are at another level than other people, or at a different rate than other people, I should say, um, we still have to move in society, and we still have to get things done in society, no matter of the level of what we call consciousness or what we want to be at. Because just because you got a high level of consciousness don't mean you making a lot of money. And just because you got a lot of money don't mean you conscious of information or things that's going on the outside world. One of the movies that I seen on Netflix that was pretty good that y'all should go watch, anybody that's watching, y'all let me know if y'all seen it, is, oh man, it was just on the tip of my tongue. I hate when that happens. Y'all had that happen to y'all? When you be thinking of something and then it just leave your mind as soon as you get ready to say it. But I think it's called The World End, or I got Julia Roberts in it. It's pretty good, and it's about the end of the world, and don't nobody know what's really going on. And whether you got money, whether you broke, you on vacation, whether you don't have no farming skills and you can't grow your own garden, you ain't got no bunker, it don't matter. Nobody knew what was going on. And so everybody, and one of the things that one of the characters said was, when something like this happens, even the 1% or the elite of the elites, they just want a heads up. Right. And that really, I was like, ooh. So And I always see they put coded messages in every movie to me. It ain't just Hollywood, it's everything. And so life is coded to me. So when he said that, I was like, wow, these people really don't know what's going on. We giving people way more power than they actually deserve. Like, it's really people like me and you that's in high places that's just making decisions based on how they feel, right? Based on what they like, based on whatever it is that person wants. And that's what's and we can talk. I mean, we can talk aliens, we can talk reptilians, we can talk insectoid, we can go extreme names of what we want to say that's behind the scenes. But every time when something is getting past information and these different things, it's someone that look like me and you. That's just me personally. I hear when people go on YouTube and they say, oh, they've been visited, they over here, they da, blase, blase. But the person that's saying that look like me or you or whoever. Whether it's same skin color, they might have black eye, no arm, no leg, whatever the case. Regardless, information coming from somebody that look like us on the same realm. So, um, so not too far on the rant. If y'all want to go ahead, one thing I always say, if y'all got just y'all smoke, you drink, you got your wine, whatever the case, please enjoy it. Take time to go ahead and get it. This ain't, as you taking notes, if you taking notes and different things of that nature. So now what I really want to get into is just some definitions that I was looking up before I started the show tonight. And one of those definitions is when we understanding the real us, right? The real you, or whatever real means, because we got to remember these words is made up. Like, one of the things we forget, and we got to remember, like, we got to remember who we are. I'm repeat on who we are from books that have been written from people that look like me and you. I got it from Dr. Sue, and the other author is, give me just a second, Deepak Chopra. I hope I said that right. So Dr. Sue Mortar, and so we getting from the masculine and the feminine side on the same concept here. Okay, so what I went into was, what is the purpose of life? And one of the things is understanding the real us, the real you. We ask ourselves, well, what is the purpose of all of this? What is the purpose of life? And these are basic Google answers. I didn't go into detail. We don't need to, because, be honest with y'all, we don't got to go into too far detail to really see the truth. All right. It's just when we dig deeper, we start to do our due diligence and get detailed. Okay. So it says, what is the purpose of life? To live, adapt, learn, and grow. Our purpose is to continue to evolve. Okay. So when you hear something like that, right? To live, right? To live, which I feel like is just another word for love, to live, adapt, learn, and grow. Now, we cannot take away from that being a fact in a sense of we living right now, we adapting day by day, depending on the world outside of us and what's going on internally. Learn. That's all we do every day is learn, regardless of how many degrees you say you want to have, or how many YouTube videos you say you watch today, or how many books you read. We still learning. And most important of all, we growing. So there is truth to that. So anytime, and what I like about going to Google and using these different things is because I ain't gonna sit here and bash anything that's gonna help us grow, that's gonna help us get to the level that we want to get to. And so one of our purpose at the end, it said our purpose is to continue to evolve. Some of the synonyms for evolving is transforming, right? It's transforming. Another one was progress. So we got to remember that just because we using one word or this word, it does not negate from what is the actual meaning of it, right? To evolve is to move forward, right? To have a metamorphosis, to transform, to go from the old into the new, right? Or what we assume is the new, right? Or a recycling of. Okay. So the reason why this is important in understanding the real you is because once you understand who you are, you know how to use these tools that we've been given in order to live this life, right? To live this life. And that's adapt, learn, and grow, right? You know how to adapt once you understand your pure potentiality and your infinite creativity, right? When you understand that you are energy, right? You know how to adapt, you know how to learn, and then you know not only how to learn, but you know what you want to learn because you know not to waste your energy and your efforts in the area that does not interest you, right? And then grow. You know how to grow. Everything does not grow the same. So that's why when you understand, comprehend, and understand who you are, you can use the tools of life, what we call the purpose of life, tools of life, the way that you want to use them, not based on how somebody else wants you to use them or based on how somebody else see things, myself included, right? Because my job is to plant seeds. That's it, plant seeds, right? It's your job to water it if you choose to, right? So the real you, one of the another question and definition that I had, right, was an eternal. It says, what is the purpose of life? An eternal God created us so that we might be in union with him and spread his glory, right? So now this is Google. I'm still on Google. I ain't winning no Bible. They ain't winning no other book. The only books I'm coming out of is these two books that I presented here tonight. Other than that, it's nothing else but the internet and different studies that I've heard from people. So this is on the religious aspect. One is more natural, one is more religious, right? It says what? An eternal God created us so that we might be in union with him and spread his glory. What does glory mean? Right? Glory is a celebrity. Glory is renown. Glory is influence. If I'm remembering that correctly as a synonym, right? So we design words. Let me go back to this. And the reason why I'm bringing up these definitions before we get into how to apply the law of pure potential, because I know that's what some of y'all was waiting on. And if y'all in the live, the video will be on YouTube tomorrow. Tomorrow. So if y'all can't stay for the whole live, it's cool. The video will be on YouTube tomorrow. You can get that link in my bio. Okay. So one of the things I was gonna hit on, I kind of lost my train of thought. That's why I kind of swayed the other way. The other way was everything is made up. Okay. Now, y'all give me a second real quick when I say this, because I want to make sure I say it right. All right. So everything is made up. We are beings of what? We just talked about it, of pure potential and creativity. Are every single letter, number, paragraph, sentence, phrase, anything with a definition was made up. Everything It was made up. When I say made up, it was created. Meaning that before the words was in the dictionary, where was the word before it was in the dictionary? Where was the word before it had the meaning in the synonym that it had? So as I'm saying this, right, and I'm comparing it, I also want you to detach yourself from it. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I'm saying that for a later episode. Okay? The detachment part is a law of detachment, but we're going to set that up for a later episode. Right? So as I'm reading this, we got to remember that all this stuff is made up. Everything was created by someone that looked like me and you. Everything was achieved in through someone else's or through working together's pure potential. One of the things that I hit in the last episode, you can go back and watch it for more detail and insight, is that when we talk about infinite creativity, we're not just talking about one individual. No, we talking about the environment. We talking about your mastermind group. We talking about your team. We talking about your tribe. We talking about your family. We talking about people in your community. Talking about people in your society. This is what feeds and helps the infinite be infinite. Right? So when we see a pendulum swing and it swings, there are several forces that's making it do that for the duration of we call infinity. There are forces that's helping that. So when we understand that everything that what we call life purpose, adapt, learn, and grow, we know how to use it because it becomes a tool to what we are. Like our body is a tool to what we are. The outside world is a tool, is a canvas to what we are. Okay? So detach yourself as we're going through the definitions, as we're getting ready to go over on how to apply the law of pure potential. Because we can't just know the law, like we said in the beginning. We cannot just know the law. We got to overthink it at times, and then once we overthink it, meditate on it, be mindful of it. Now let's apply this thing. It's thinking is over with 90%. Let's put the dense 10% of action that outweighs the 90 into work, so then we can manifest what we see. If I hit the mic on that one, so then we can manifest what we see. All right. So I hit on this already. The purpose of life on Earth is survival, but we actually got to switch that around, because everything on Earth is abundant. It's not survival, right? They say it's limited resources. No, there isn't limited resources. It's resources that are recycled. Let me say this again. There are not limited resources on the planet. There are resources that are recycled. Okay? So when they say, oh, we can't make so many iPhones because we can't cobalt in the cobalt mine. Well, you can, the cobalt that's in the old iPhones, what y'all doing with that? The material from the old iPhones, how are y'all? You catch my drift. Catch my drift? So we have to switch that gear into thriving, right? We thrive. If we thriving, we surviving. So that's why we have to switch the mental note. I don't have to survive, right? You don't have to survive anything, but you thrive through everything. We thrive through everything. Okay? Because and the reason why I say that and say flip is because when you go outside, we look at nature. Nature does not survive. There is no survival. There is no surviving in nature. Now you got things and animals that have defense mechanisms. It's totally different than surviving. Now we put that title on it, but the title, once we actually get into what survival is, the title itself, we really don't need it. But because we are creative beings and this is what we do, we create titles as such. Right? So let's get into this. The last question that I asked Google or the internet or whatever, someone else, well, it ain't Google, because Google just pulls this information from other articles that other people write. So it says the true meaning of life. No one can tell the actual definition of the meaning of life. Let me say this again. I just when you go on Google and I typed in who are we or something like that, and I went down on one of the scroll downs, clicked in the scroll down. That's how I found this. To say the true meaning of life, right? It says no one can tell the actual definition of the meaning of life. It says no one. So can tell the actual definition, but they can come up with what they own creative definition. So now we see what the power of creativity at work. All right. I thought that was the last one, but we got one more. Life in one word. What is life in one word according to the internet? Experiences. Experience. Like a lot of us, we be running away from Google and the articles and all this stuff. But when you get down to it, when I tell you your answers are in the basic information, your answer is in the lie. Your answer is in the truth. Your answer is wherever your answer need to be for you to see it. So don't run away from the information. Just do your due diligence. So when you get the information, it's already deciphered for you. It's already, the keys are already poking out, highlighting itself to you. Because we starting to understand the real us. We starting to understand who we really are. So when we learn and we grow and we go and you get this information from everybody, we decipher it's totally different because we detach from the information. The information doesn't have a hold on us. The material doesn't have a hold on us. I hope y'all drifting. I hope y'all catching my drift. So that's me overthinking. I had to go into that. All right. So now let's get into how to apply the law of perpotential and how we can apply it to our lives and how we can live with it. Right. So getting into the 7 spiritual laws of success is the book that I'm coming from. Excuse me if we shaking. All right. It says, how can we apply the law of perpotential to the field of all possibilities to our lives? If we want to enjoy the benefits of the field of perpotential, if you want to make full use of the creativity which is inherent in per consciousness, then you have to have access to it. Okay? One way to access the field is through the daily patience of silence, meditation, and non-judgment. Silence, meditation, and non-judgment. All right. One of the most important things when it's going into that is silence. All right. Now it says spending time in nature will also give you access to qualities inherent in the field in infinite creativity, freedom, and bliss. Okay. So in understanding who we are, excuse me, y'all, go to your bed. In your bed. Understanding who we are, we start to unlock. We just start to unlock. We still ain't got access to it, but we start to unlock tools that's going to get us in the door. Keys that's going to get us access to it. Okay? The universe is based off laws and principles. The universe is based off laws and principles. Let me not even say the universe. This realm, this planet is based off laws and principles. That's it. That's it. Once you get the law, what's the law? Okay, this is the law. Then from the law, you're going to get keys. You're going to get subsections. You're going to get details. You're going to get fine print on what tools to use in your bed. What tools to use in order to access what that law can give you access to. Why are there laws and regulations on the earth, period, for nations, period? Because laws and regulations give you certain access. Liberties and rights give you certain access. That's it. Or non-access. That's it. So the universe, the spirit, breath, the way we talk, right? In order to walk what we walk in, right? That's all spirit is. How we breathing so we can talk, to walk the walk. Understanding that even in spirit, laws operate the same, principles operate the same. So we cannot. The reason why does and the question is, right? Well, why does it even operate the same? Well, why would the spirit mimic the physical, or the physical mimic the spirit? Why is this? Because you can't have one without the other. I don't know, because all I know is I know nothing, right? But one thing I do know is that we are more than what we see. We are more than what our body and mind, right? Everything else that we want to come up with, everything else that we want to create, to have a grip, to have a understanding on why this exists, is what that is. Or creativity, building a story to give us a handle on why this is even going on in the first place. I hope y'all catching my drift. Hope y'all catching my drift. I know I went kind of off the rail on that one, but I hope y'all catching my drift. That's me overthinking. That's overthinking mode. That's what we just gonna call that when we go on them rants. But I hope y'all catching my drift, because it's important to detach yourself, because sometimes we get caught up in the wrong question. We get caught up in the wrong answer. We get caught up in the end result. We get caught up in what we want in life. We get caught up in all of these different things instead of detaching ourselves from the end result and just doing the action steps that it takes to get us, or to put us in the position whatever it is in life. Because it's all about how you living at the end of the day. It's all about how are you living, nobody else. So when we go on here and we see these other people's lifestyle, that does not matter, because it's all about how you living. Because we are two separate entities right now, even on this live. Several entities, right? Because your life is your life, and my life is my life. And at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is how we live it. What are we doing in order to provide the life that we want to see? And understanding who we are while we're living. Okay, so and say spending time in nature will also give you access to qualities inherent in the field: infinite creativity, freedom, and bliss. Okay, so when we talking about these tools, right, to use, or these keys to use: silence, meditation, and non-judgment, in order to get access to infinite creativity, freedom, and bliss. What is freedom? Freedom is not free. Freedom is the access and the potential to do what I want when I say I want it, at the time I want to do it. That's freedom. Okay? It's not the illusion of not doing anything. Freedom has a price, as we can see here. In the spirit, we ain't even talking about nothing else right now. All right? One of the things that it says silence. All right? Let me see if there's something else. Okay, right here. Practicing silence means making a commitment to take a certain amount of time to simply be experiencing silence periodically, withdrawing from the activity of speech, but it also means periodically withdrawing from such activities as watching television, listening to radio, or reading a book. So sometimes we got to just sit in silence. I remember the last time y'all just sat in silence. I sat in silence the other day. I do it. I try to do it at least 2 or 3 times a week. Just don't nothing. Sit in pure silence. Just listen to my mind go through whatever thoughts you want to go through and talk to whoever I'm talking to up here. Right? Silence is important because silence we can figure out who we are through. If you got voices in your head, intuition, whatever it is, right? We can start to decipher, right? We can start to have discernment. We can start to do our due diligence on ourselves instead of the world. Because once we start to know who we are, it ain't nothing to attack out here. People can say whatever they want to you. You won't even bad an eye. You'll just keep it moving. Whatever you say, it is what it is. I don't know if y'all remember the movie was it All Star or Superstar or something like that? When she said, I am rubber and you were glue. Anything you say to me bounces off of me and sticks to you. So that's how you gotta move. That's how you gotta move in a sense, because everybody gonna talk, everybody gonna have their 2 cents, and their 2 cents is their opinion, their creative mind going to work based off the information that they have received so far. And that's all it is. So silence is important. Silence is very important. All right. Silence is very important. So the other thing was meditation, right? Meditation is not sitting in silence. Meditation is not sitting in silence. Meditation for me, let me say it like this. Meditation for me is going in deep thought. It's going in deep thought. Not trying to clear the mind to the point where, because your mind is never clear, right? I'm trying to clear my mind on what I needed to be clear for. We say it again. Meditation is not clearing the mind because the mind is never clear. Meditation is clearing the mind for what I need to be clear for. If I need clarity, I'm meditating on what I need clarity in. I'm not meditating to take all the noise out. No, I'm meditating to find the one voice that I need, or to find the clarity in what I need in order to start to get understanding in what I want to get understanding in. That's meditation for me, right? And by my particular definition for meditating, right? Because if we want to sit in silence and try to clear the mind, then that's what we do. We sit in silence and try to clear the mind. Then we sit in silence and try to clear the mind. We meditate on a particular point, on a particular thing, in order to get clarity and clear the mind of all the junk and all the monkey madness that's going in the head, so I can clear and focus on this one thing. Okay? So the other thing too that we must use in order to apply the law of pure potential is non-judgmental. You can't be out here judging everybody because it's not what you want, or it's not how you would do things. You can't be judging anybody because that ain't what you wear. That ain't the car you would drive, or whatever the simple reason is for you to judge somebody. We all get caught up in this, right? Because of the world and society that we live in. We teach it and we push a judgmental society. So at times, unconsciously, we are being judged, or we are being the judges. But we must detach from that. And when I say non-judgmental, it's not having an opinion, or not this is non-judgmental is not saying that you don't have an opinion on something, or that you don't uh or you don't have, your way of looking at things, right? The thing about judging someone is you are applying what you think onto them, and what you think does not matter. Let me say it again. What you think does not matter. So that's why you should not be out here trying to judge somebody, because your judgment, right? Your judgment, your thought, even though we having a right to our opinion, like I just said, at times it does not matter unless it's asked for. Okay? So you have to remember that being non-judgmental is not holding your tongue, biting your tongue, anything like that. It's just not doing, it's how can I say this? It's not being the person that is always asking a question on why somebody doing what they doing. Because at the end of the day, when I say this, when I say why you always why and you should that's what we talking about when we say non-judgmental. Because a lot of us have that habits, or sometimes we even be thinking that way. Even if we're not saying it, we thinking like that. So that's one thing we have to remember out here. All right. And how to apply, coming from last night episode, the first episode, right? The law of pure potential, part 1, and understanding that, okay, if I'm pure potential, I'm infinite creativity. How do I apply it? You apply it through what? Silence, meditation, and being non-judgmental. And the reason why those are keys and tools is because if you start to apply those things, I mean, you have to apply it to really understand it and understand it. We want to get the information, but we don't want to apply it to fully understand and for it to fully awaken within us. We have to apply these things. We can't just sit back and just say, okay, the information sounds good and this is what it is, but we have to apply it. That's why it's so important for us to go into, well, how do we apply these things? How do we actually put these things a part of our life, right? All of us can go 5 minutes of silence, 3 minutes of silence, a moment of silence, right? Because if we want to continue to grow inwardly in order to express it outwardly, then that's what we have to do, right? That's something that we have to do. Meditate, getting clarity in the mind of what you want, so you can be clear on what you want to create and how you want to create it. And when we say creating, we're not saying that you out here not working with anybody, but using your creativity to help somebody else while somebody else is using their creativity to help you. Other thing is not being judgmental. We talking about nagging. Don't be the person always asking, why are you doing this? Why are you going to do that? When are you doing this? You shouldn't do that. Or I don't look good, none of that. That's what we talking about. Right? So get ready to end the night. For the first episode, one thing I want to get on here and just say is just remember who you are, right? Remember who you are, because once you start to remember who you are, the real you, the true essence, the pure potential, the infinite creativity that you are, now you can begin to go and take the action steps that you want to take deliberately in order to live the life that you want. And we're not talking about just living any type of life. We're just talking about the life that you want, whatever it may be. And we're not talking about what the outside world wants us to distract us with, right? The glamour, the glory, all of this other stuff. Yeah, if that's what you want, then go get it. Hey, cool. But don't let it distract you from what you really want and what your heart seeks, right? We have a mind here and then we have a mind here. And you got to know how to use it. Okay. And that's another reason why silence is important. So we can learn how to use the tools of our body. We can learn how to use the minds of our body. We can learn how to use the eyes of our bodies. It's not just one body, one mind, and all of this. It's plenty of things that make up the body. And each one of those are conscious. Each one of those are beings. That's why we should give thanks for those things. So understand the real you and who you are. And just remember, it's all about the life, that you want to live. It's all about how you living at the end of the day. Next time you see your homie, hey man, or your dog, however y'all say it, how you living? Because it's important. It's important on how you living. It's important on how we going out here and implementing ourselves in society. It's important on what we do in order to uphold the government if they ain't doing right by however it is. For the most part, from history, don't no government do right, come to find out. But that's another topic for another day. So the books, to go back over those tonight that we went over, The Energy Codes by Dr. Sue Morter, and The Seven Spiritual Laws by let me see, make sure I say his name right. Deepak Chopra. All right. So if you want those books, just DM me or anything like that. I can get you the link for those books. Also, if you want to subscribe, please subscribe. That'll be what's up. I would love for you all to subscribe and continue following, and so we can get the channel back up and different things of that nature. Because I will be posting this on YouTube, so that's why I'm talking like that. It'll be coming back up. If y'all on YouTube watching this, then we live on TikTok. So if y'all on YouTube watching this the next day or the day, you can follow me on TikTok, El Casino, everything on all platforms to watch it live. So y'all join me, man, tomorrow, 11:45 to 12:45, the Overthinker podcast, where we just going on things that I overthink about, books that I read and overthink in, and just other global affairs, current affairs that's going on. I think I'm a come on tomorrow, not live, but do a few posts about 2024 and the global crisis is going on. Why not? Everybody doing all of these predictions and everything. So we're gonna go in about these all these Notre Dameses out here predicting everything in this global catastrophe and everything that these people setting us up for another okie dokie, pretty much. So we're gonna talk about that. I'm gonna go in on a couple posts and get y'all feedback on that, and some different people on feedback on that. And I actually might do an episode on 2024 global crisis. But tomorrow episode, we're going to go into secret knowledge and occult meanings and understanding the occults. Secret knowledge. If I wanted to keep something secret, right, I would scare you so you wouldn't come to it. That's just me. So I think they probably took that concept with those occults and pretty much put it there so they can keep everybody on one end out. So, but we're going to go into that, the secret knowledge, occult life, and we're going to take it from there. This to give y'all some title points so y'all will know what is it all about, the purpose of life and dreaming and death, and why is there secret knowledge. So we got a few topics that we're going to go on. Not sure which books we're going to come out of. The reason why I say that is because I got a few I can choose from. We might just come out of all of them. So y'all stay tuned for that. Again, 11:45 tomorrow, live TikTok. We're going to be here. Again, have your drink, have your notebooks, have your smokes, however you're going to get down for that hour and 15. Let's get it in. Let's fellowship and let's have a great time. So Peace, love, and life. I will see y'all in the next one. If you did not catch this, y'all coming on late. Y'all did not catch it. It'll be posted on my YouTube tomorrow afternoon. Okay. So